Welcome back, Black Rocketeers. Today, a little something special. Shapez 2 just released on early access. So we're going to do a little bit of a first look, first play, little review of this game. Kind of see what it's working on here. There was a demo released earlier. We did a little playthrough of that. But the early access obviously is going to have a lot more to it. And we can already see from the opening screen here, we have a lot of shape shifting and building components. So let's go ahead and click play. Get a new game going here. We're just going to start off normal. And I'm just going to start with the basics. It looks like these are locked right now anyway. So one of the great things about the original Shapez was its simplicity, and it was actually able to be played in a browser, and the games could be transferred over from computer to computer. So it could be picked up and played pretty much anywhere you were. It also didn't require much from your computer. This one looks like we got much more in depth into the graphics and things like that. But let's go ahead and dive right in. So, as is always the case, you have to feed your center console. We have this little vortex here, a lot more in-depth and graphical than the original one, which was kind of just a black and white box. All right, so we got our extractors, our rotate, and we're going to go ahead and place this. It says place 4. So we'll just follow, kind of just follow through the basic tutorial to get a feel for anything that may be different. It looks like most of the controls are the same. You can go into 3-dimensional here. The last one was strictly 2D, which added to its simplicity. This one making it 3D, giving you full rotation. And as we know from our demo playthrough, we will be able to get a little bit more. Place anchors with C. All right. We will be able to get a little bit more 3-dimensional with this. What are we doing? We'll place it. Dragging and pushing C and C. And we're just going straight in here. Let's just do that for now. All right, and they are pushing them out. Again, the graphics in this game really add to a lot of it. In a lot of factory games, watching the things go down the conveyor belt is just something special about those games. So really having solid graphics on those specific pieces. You can see we got little turbo jumps here. Looks like a little Hot Wheels car ramp firing it out there. And then a little catch on the other side. All those fine details really take some of these games to the next level. Open the knowledge panel to review past instructions. Let's go through that. Look at that. You're certified. You're fantastic. Great. Deliver the requested circles. Where are... Oh, right here. So there's your milestones right now. So we need 10 of these going in. There we go. And they shoot them out, and then this thing catches it. And again, the attention to detail as it gets kind of sucked into this whirling vortex here. And we can just imagine, anybody who's played any sort of factory game, the amount of materials we're going to be pumping in here at some point. This thing is just going to be a massive swirling vortex of doom, sucking in all the shapes imaginable. All right, so our next milestone, we're going to need some squares. And we're going to need some half circles. So we're going to go over here. It's actually telling me where to do it. But we're going to put our cutting over here. And we're going to put 3 of them in. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then split and merge. Just drag, split, and merge. All right. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. One of the great things, another one of the great aspects of a very fluid factory game is just your ability to do things quickly, and especially expanding your factory. There's nothing worse than sitting there, copying and pasting, trying, one thing after another, rebuilding all those things you've done 100 times before. So we'll just put 4 of those in. Same deal as before. We're going to drag it out. C for an anchor. C for an anchor. And I'm going to put it specifically, I'm putting it against this ledge right here because I know I'm going to be using more squares. I might have to do some cutting and stuff over here, and I'll need these other spots. But we'll just drag this straight in to get our 10. And I'm actually going to take a guess that, oh, those are circles and those are squares. So all we got are circles and squares for right now. I was thinking maybe they were going to pull one from each side. This is delivering my half circles as requested. This game, very similar to other factory games. Again, a lot of building and destroying. So I highly doubt that these belts will last very long. The milestones will get Rotators. Place a rotator to produce quarters. Rotators and cutters. Okay. Again, they will get vastly more complex as time goes on, and we will have to continue expanding on the factory, cutting more things down. All right. And here, and right in there. There we go. Now we're getting quarters coming out. Very nice. And as it said, it accepts them in any rotation, which is nice because currently mine are going bottom right corner and they actually want top right corner, but it says it'll accept them in any shape. So what I can do, let's see, go ahead, get rid of that. Let's see if we can do. So copy and paste is usually something that has to be, it has to be unlocked. So at a certain milestone, you will get the ability to copy and paste, I believe. Oh, actually, I lied. Look at this. And we're going to unlock blueprints. So you have to unlock the blueprints first. But what I want to do is just copy and paste that same exact thing, because you can see I'm looking for the half squares over here. So let's do, we'll put 3. Oh, those are rotators. Let's put our 3 cutters in. And the rotating isn't necessary yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be next. So we'll leave it like that. And again, it's cutting them in half, splitting them here, cutting them in half and sending them in. And the rotation does not matter. So it doesn't matter what they look like. You can see they're coming out as halves in the bottom here. Kind of as you're waiting for things. So as I'm right here waiting, I don't have to sit here and just wait for this. I can start pulling in a lot more pieces. I only got 4 mines right here. So I could actually go ahead and do, all right, little pipette with C. I could make a whole new line coming through and just drag this across, anchor it. Yeah, let's anchor it here, kind of pull it off to the side here, and maybe even just duplicate this. Get my 3 cutters, rotators, and watch, milestones complete, and then I could always just let these go in as well. And there we go. Now we just doubled our output for that. All right, so this game, one of the new things that this game does do is go into the 3rd dimension, so you can bring things up into a stacker and a second floor. Similar to the tunnels in the original game, but this one is actually more visual. You can actually see what's going on. So let's go ahead and unlock those stackers. And now you can see my new tasks, my new requirements are going to require me going to the 2nd level. So I got double stacking circles, should be pretty straightforward. Double stacking squares. Again, actually, this is a triple stack square. So we'll probably go with the double stack first and then work in the triple stack later. And that second one that I built. And then this one is going to require some combining. Let's see, I got combiners, I got a trash, I got a rotator, a swapper. So this looks like it's going to require some of that swapping. So what I'm going to do is just one by one work on these. And the stacker should be simple enough. I think all of this needs to go. So we'll use that second supply line that I had, but we're going to use this to stack. So let's go. Stackers are slow, so always place multiples of them. You got it. So we'll do a line of them right here. Let's put, I don't know, I'm not paying for them, so just put as many as I feel like in. I lied. The milestone, so I don't know what that was that it was just asking me for, but the milestone actually wants me to stack circles on top of squares and then get some of these things going here. So I should not have deleted that. I should have deleted it the other way around. But you live and you learn. So we want to bring some whole squares over. And we want my squares and circles combining. And since it's not asking for this little cut anymore, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I know I'm going to need those in a minute because I did see ahead. I'm assuming what was in here, those milestones. No, I'm not seeing any of those. I don't know what those milestones were that popped in. Maybe it was giving me an example of things I could build. The circles and all that good stuff. But this is actually what I'll be building here. But you can see they're going to want me to cut some circles and stuff like that later on. So for right now, we'll just grab these, bring them out and across. And for right now, I'm going to do things kind of disorganized. I'm just going to bring things to where I want them to be. I'm not going to do too much pre-planning because, again, it's so simple to delete. There's no penalty for deleting. There's no cost for deleting. So I'm just going to bring things to where I want and then set it up there. I do want my circles to be on top. So let's go right here and we'll put our stackers in here. And again, a couple of those, we can always double feed them if we need to. So if we really want to spice this thing up, I'll get a double feeder going. Let's copy this. And it said, I want the circles on top. So it says E to go up. Do I want to? Yes, E goes up, and then I can actually drag it all the way along. Nope, I cannot do that. I lied. So maybe I got to go up one first. Let's go here, up one, then over, and then across. There we go. Beautiful. And now those circles should come up, and they'll get ready to drop down. And just Q and E jump me up and down levels. And if you've played a lot of these games, Q and E right next to your WSD keys tend to be the ones to move you up and down. And the circles are going across. I don't know why somehow a circle got in down there. So you can see I have a circle on a circle. So now what I want to do is bring just those basic squares. Again, not looking too in depth into this. I'm going to regret this later on, or I'm not going to regret it, but I'm going to delete this later on. You can see how much space that takes up. Not very uniform, but for right now, all we're doing is just trying to knock out a couple of these early milestones, and then we can always rebuild the factory as we deem fit later on. So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. We'll see what the output looks like on this. And you can see that right there. You can see the end of the conveyor belt here actually tells you what will come out. So we got that square in the circle, just like we're looking for. Again, we're also working on this one. So one of the things that I like to do with any of these automation games is you set it and forget it. So I set this up, and then while I'm working on other aspects of the factory, that's just ticking those away. Oh, I do have a pinned task. The circle on the circle. What the heck? There's a lot of tasks going on here. Anyway, so that is one of the tasks that it's looking for. Here we go. Completing side task grants you research points. Here we go. Now we're talking. All right. So circles on circles, squares on squares, pyramids, and then this little mismatch right here. So this one's going to be actually the most complex. These all are the same thing. So as soon as, actually, let's do it right now since we're not using my little half circles. I'm going to build another stacking situation going on over here. And this gives me shift and delete to delete an entire area. I like that. Let's practice that. Bam. And then delete. Look at that right there. All right. So this is giving me a chance to kind of play with all these different components. I'm going to put circles going all the way through the bottom there. And then I'm going to grab on another belt of extractors. I don't want it to go down there. I want it here. And then jump across. And then we'll jump up a level and come across there. And this is our pinned circles on circles. And our pyramids our circles on squares are coming through right here. It looks like we can actually do possibly more than 5 belts at once. No, we have no backup here. Yeah, there is a little bit of a backup. So let's go ahead and add another one here. And we want to find out our outputs and inputs here to see, how many belts, how many extractors can lead into one splitter and all that good stuff. And this is a great place to play around with that. So I have my circles going on top of my circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 5 there. I expanded this to 7. So we'll see. It looks like 7 is too many for it. Not that that's going to hurt me, but you can just see that we have empty space along the conveyor belt. It's going to start pulling these through at a much more rapid pace. So 6 looks like it might be the sweet spot for this. So I'll add one more over here. And so far, the biggest thing that I'm going to say with this is the fluidity. You're jumping right through these things especially for someone who's played any sort of factory game before, it's very rudimentary, very user-friendly, and it just figures itself out. There's not a whole lot of trying to figure out all these basic components. You can see how quickly I can expand on these factories. And that's one of my favorite things about these games. When they're made right, they're very simple, very easy to pick up and dive right into. And it doesn't take a whole lot of tutorializing and all that good stuff. I'm just see that our new milestone here is squares, corner squares on corner squares. So I'm going to line up my stackers. What did we say? 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We said 6 actually. So there's my 6. Now this one's going to be a little convoluted because I'm actually cutting this in half unless I want to get fancy, which I might in a minute. But I'm going to go up here. So I'm actually pulling all of them. I'm actually going to pull all of them straight from here. I cannot do it. Interesting. Let's do this and this. And that is not connected anymore, which is A-okay. All right, so we pull all that there, and then I'm just going to go here, E. Let's see if we can flip those backwards. That's pretty cool. So with our kind of elevator here, our lifter, you can see I can actually pull backwards and then flip the direction of it. So I have it going that way and then that way. And this is going to start working on those squares on squares. But I'm going to have to upgrade this because that's just not nearly going to be enough. So I'll probably get another pulling from another set of extractors over here and then build a whole nother splitting line, which would be nice if I could just cut it. But let's go ahead and do that now while we're waiting. There are other milestones completing over there. And we have our pinned task working. You love to see it. Very natural, very good flow. I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. And kind of as we get further into this to see what's different about this game compared to the past shapes. Let's go. We'll go out this way with this one and then get a lifter here. Ooh. Lifter there. And just put it in like that. And once those get going, I'll connect it and disable the other one. C for an anchor. And keep forgetting that one. There you go. All right. Shape goal has been complete. So we have our pin task. Let's see what that did for us. So pin task, it says unlock 1 research point. It made a cool noise, but I don't know what it did. And I could get into some building on this main little island right here, but I kind of like bringing it into my vortex island before I start doing anything. So let's grab those and these. And we'll bring both of them over. And it wants me to stack squares on squares. So I'm just going to take a line of stackers. And this is going to be a straight, a full line. So I will do... Let's put it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And these will go... What the heck was that? Oh, that's a jump. I copied the jump. I do not want to copy the jump. I want to copy the platform. And I'm just doing C for all those copyings. And we'll grab another one here. And jump up. Put it there and drag it all the way along. There you go. And we have our doubles. And we are going to want to triple too if you saw that pyramid in the next one. But let's hit this milestone first. And it looks like we will eventually be able to unlock even more of these. So you're really going to have a lot of shapes coming in. And we have a whoops, look what I did here. We have a single stacker. So of all those stackers, I forgot to connect the outputs. And we have one pushing in there. So that slowed things down. Let's make sure I don't make that mistake over here. Nope, we got our pyramids coming in. All right. Now we need halves of these. Unfortunately, right now, our halves deletes the other half. So when I cut, it does throw away the other half. If I could just cut these and save both halves, I would get twice as much, but for right now we'll keep it simple. So we have our stackers working on these couple of milestones here. We have another pin task, which is those stacking of circles on circles, and now it wants us to do halves of those. So again, we'll just build out our cutter here. There are absolutely better ways to do this, more efficient ways to do this. Because I'm working on so many different projects right now, it really it doesn't matter. I'm over here working on one project and the other one is completing. So unless you're really sitting here, like, oh, come on, let's really get this going. You can always update, make your factory better, like I tried to do here. And again, forgot to complete. We want to pull this second floor all the way across just like that. And we can delete these. You can always improve efficiency. I'm all about improving the efficiency, but sometimes over efficiency is a little too much too. You spend so much time building it up to make it as efficient as possible, and then you're done with the milestone and the efficiency didn't really pay off. So for right now, we got plenty going on here. I will look at, let's see, we're doing the halves, so we're doing that pin task right there. We can start looking at that fancy pinned task that I talked about earlier, which is going to be, it's a half of a square with a quarter of a circle. So we're going to need circles and squares. So let's grab this. And we'll take all 4 for right now. We may need to pull that later. And since we have 4 lines of extractors and 4 spots right here, I'm just doing the 2 lower ones go to the outside, and then the top ones go through the middle. Should make it simpler and hopefully not run into too many issues later on. And I do like leaving that outside line open. I got a feeling I'm going to need to slide something through there later. So we'll pull this over to about here. And there's our squares coming all the way through. They are going to need to be cut. And let's do extractors. I like to be able to visualize everything on the same screen. So having things, so spread out is more difficult for me. So we got our circles coming in. We have our squares coming in. And now we want to cut our circles. And we know we can do 3 of these. So 3 cuts is going to give us the half. We're going to have to rotate them. And then we're going to need to cut those again to get our quarters. You can see it tells me what's going to come out of it, which absolutely fantastic. There's no weighting necessary. And then I'm sure for this one, we are going to need those to fall on top of each other. So the rotation doesn't matter, but I think if I put square pieces in the wrong place, it's not going to line up correctly. So we want half squares, quarter circles, and nothing is stacked actually. So these to combine, I'm going to guess I need, did it say I had a combiner? I only had a stacker. Yeah, so we'll use the stacker to drop one on top of the other, but we just need to make sure they don't land on top of each other, and it should be fine. So let's cut these right here. Put 3 cutters in, bring it across, and then stackers. And this should be 2 full decks coming in here, 2 full pipelines, conveyor belts, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. 2 full conveyor belts. So I will put these through the bottom just because they happen to be here. Like that. Delete that. Come here. And then this will come off and go up and go across the top. And I'm looking, and these are going to land right on top of each other. So I do need some rotation. So let's see. I wonder if a rotator slows down the speed at all. Let's see how fast a rotator is. Ooh, rotators are pretty slow. So let's put in 3 rotators. And had I thought of that earlier, I would have put the rotators right at the end here, at the end of the circle making, and that would have lined it up. But you can, oh, wait. Yes, the shape that is going to come out is correct, but you're going to see I got a couple of misshapen ones at first because those shapes went through before. So you can see how it's stacked up square on top of that half circle. But now since it's rotated, they should start lining up once those rotated circles come through. So let's see what we got going on here. There they are right there. So these are the correct ones, and the rest should start coming out like that. And as I mentioned, since we got this, you can see how quickly, look at how complex that is. And I just set that up in 2-3 minutes. So the fluidity is so far fantastic with this game. Not getting caught in little things trying to get your conveyor belts to line up and match up correctly. And we did that. So let's go ahead and unlock. Boom. We got the research point. It's all happy about it. And now I can buy stuff, unlock upgrades. Oh, very nice. So those of you familiar with the first game, you didn't get to choose your upgrades. As you sent things through, I guess you could choose what you wanted to put through, but then you didn't get to choose the upgrade. So this allows you to do these other tasks, get research points, and then upgrade what you want. And you can see here, I can speed up the speed of my belts. So we can speed up from 60 to 90 per minute, upgrade the speed of cutting, upgrade the speed of stacking. So far right now, what we've been using most has been the cutting. So I'm going to upgrade my cutting, and that should speed that up. And then hopefully I can shrink some of these factories down so we won't need as many cutters, and that'll just consolidate space, which is always important later on in the game, getting those spaces. And as I'm looking, the new tasks that it's asking me for are actually going to start lining up and making themselves easier because I have these factories set up. You can see this. I have the half square. The half square going on here can actually be done. I should be able to do this. Let's try this. I'm going to eliminate all the cutters there. And then let's remove the rotation on this. Hang with me. Add one more rotation to this and peep this situation. Bam, we just turned. Nope. That's just going to make squares. I need... Oh, we need to take out all our rotation. Check this. So we remove all the rotations, and now we have right sides, and they're just going to plop right on top of each other, and they're going to start completing our next pin task, which is right there. Super easy. And let's upgrade or unlock this. And there's, again, we just got to start cutting those ones. So some of these making it much easier for me. The upgrade of the cutter was a good choice. I'm going to put, well, we got to rotate before we cut. So let's put rotators and cutters. And out comes our next pin task right there. And then take a look. Our next milestone is just one of these with a rotation and another cut. And there's our next milestone. So just expanding on those factories, you don't have to start from scratch each time. Just expand on what you've already done. It tells you what you no longer need. So this is no longer necessary. I no longer need to make this right now. Since this is combining circles and squares, I might want to consider leaving it here. This one, actually, one of the other tasks is that pyramid, the triple pyramid. So I'm going to take these right here, and I'm going to pull in. Let's just pull the squares from here. Is that lazy? It's kind of lazy, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we will flip this. Do 6 of those. Bam, and peep this. I'm going to pull squares from here, anchor, go up a level, and come all the way across. And because I'm not using that other side, I'll just take that off. This is going to turn into nothing right now. But I don't need any of those circles, any of this stuff anymore. So let that bleed out, dry out, and these will start creating those pyramids. As soon as they get across there. And then I also have this square on square action here, which is going to be those corners, some fancy rotations, and some stacking. Let's see, where do we want to do those from? We do have another extractor here we're not currently using. Let's do that. We don't have a whole lot going on over there. So we put in our extractors. I'm going to switch up these lines. So I'm going to put this one out the middle. And then this is actually going to become that line. And this line is going to become its own line going out. And for this, I will be splitting the line. Let's go 3 cutters. I don't want to plan this out correctly. So 3 cutters. Do rotators. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take a single line and split it in half. We have a good amount, 720 of them to do, so I might have to speed this up and add more to it. But for right now, we will cut them again. There we go. Get the exact pieces I need. And then I'm going to pull a conveyor belt right here. And we will split this conveyor belt into two right there. This one will go through a rotator, and then we'll put it through a line of stackers. We're not going to be able to do all of the stackers because we are splitting a single line. Just like that. And I'm going to have to rotate that one more time, actually, to get it so that they are opposite corners. This goes to the bottom line of the stacker. This goes to the top line. You can see the piece that is coming out is exactly what I need. So we'll bring this along. This three-dimensional aspect of it is really cool. You can see when I get into these lower tiers here. Let's pull this over. You can go there. You are going there. Not together. Yep. When I get to this lower aspect here, being able to see into these machines, the little animations as they're zapping the little pieces out and everything, all those little attention to details are really what make some of these games, kind of take them to the next level compared to the ones that don't have those things, and they just feel dull. So overall, we're about 30 minutes of gameplay into this game. I'm loving every aspect of it. I love the factory building to it. I love the fluidity of it. The graphics are really just unbelievable. The in-depthness of the 3D and the way that they're using the third dimension to be able to jump up, do these stackers, which were two-dimensional in the original game. I'm loving everything about it. Absolutely 100% worth it. We'll add some more videos to this collection as we start getting more in-depth. I have seen some things on trailers for this game, like train lines and other colors obviously will be added in at some point. But really, this game, as long as this game has the depth of the original Shapes, I think this is a definite buy, really cool game, and looking forward to getting some more videos in here. So if you're interested in this game, you want to see some more videos like this, maybe some tips and tricks, things like that, shout us out in the comments below. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll see you in our next video.